Are we live? I guess we're live. 10 seconds. Hello everyone and welcome to the Pumpkin Domo channel / stream, depending on where you're seeing this video or stream right now. We're back with some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney trilogy. We're on episode 3, Turnabout Samurai. It's an interesting case of an actor being killed at the studio. And it's an actor for a samurai show. Okay, and it's the second day, so there's been quite a few stuff that happened in the first day. Of course, finding out about the case, meeting the key characters for this particular episode, and yeah. Okay. So we're starting off right off the bat with the trial. Okay. Court is it? How did his voice go again? Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that 2:30 p.m. on October 15, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for... Oh, if we skip through that one. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Oh, it's our buddy Gumshoe. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court? Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studios, you see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate of to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer. The defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Oh, hello, one viewer. Welcome to Pumpkin Domo's channel. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to the Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. Oh yeah, he got stabbed through the heart. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was a murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Should I listen to that whole thing again? No, I'll skip it. I think I can probably remember that. So, the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear. The spear was found stuck in the chest of the victim. Okay. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is... what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call this security officer to the stand. Oh, we don't even know her name. We've been calling her Old Bag, Security Lady. Oh, well, the witness. Yes. Okay.
My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please. Seems Edwards has a bit of trouble getting this witness to say their names.
Wendy Oldback, dearie.
Oh, wait, her name is actually Oldback. Dang it. I thought that was just a nickname they were giving her. Okay, okay.
So just call me Grandma. So even if I was young, better call me Oldback. Still, how dare children? Oh, can you believe it? But there was a boy time in chess and he called me Oldback. Well,
Objection. I object to the witness's talkativeness.
objection sustained. Yes, yes. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, see, I was.
And to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you.
You know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony. Sure is one hell of an old bag. Dang. Testimony. Witness's account.
Okay. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest has been doing a run through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading toward the studio.
Okay, that was the testimony. You saw the defendant then? Very well, let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Okay, cross-examination. Okay. Let's see. The day of murder, at the guard station at 1. I'm just gonna press. I'm gonna press like every single statement in case there's something does pop up. Okay. So up until that time, anyone who wanted to go into the studio?
Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee card key to get in.
Right, the card key that I have. So, what she's saying is no one who wasn't supposed to be there could get in? Was there anyone at the studio when you arrived at the guard station?
Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run through there since the morning.
I had some errands to run in the morning. I want to see what those errands are. What kind of errands?
Oh, well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers, observing, you know.
Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Oh, whippersnapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
I'm not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always. Never missed one in all my years.
Wow! I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too! You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty.
Not a bad idea. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5.
So you were watching there the whole time, no breaks, not even a second?
Of course, I'm a professional, you know. Or are you criticizing how I do my job, whippersnapper?
No, it's just after seeing you eating those donuts in a guard station yesterday.
I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time. Ooh, snipper, whippersnapper.
Snipper, whopper. Oh, Windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection?
So, the witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well, very well. What did you see? Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right?
Let's see, is it 2:30? Yeah, class here for chess. Car key for studio press. Taken the gate between the entrance and the studio. 2 p.m. Okay.
Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m.
Yes, okay. Miss Powers, let's see. So you saw Mr. Powers?
That's what I said. I got wax in your ears, sonny.
Nick, this is your chance. Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon.
I'll say it again. It was him.
Miss Powers, the man right there, and he was heading towards the studio. Is this the end of it? Okay, so I'm gonna present the picture because that may be the costume that Will Powers uses for Steel Samurai. Does not exactly mean that Will Powers is inside the costume. Let me check. What's this? Okay. Oh! I just noticed. Look at that. The costume is way too long for whoever was wearing it. Because if this was Will Powers, it probably wouldn't drag the pants. So I'm gonna present this. Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you?
Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly?
None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo.
Miss Old Bag.
Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course. Did your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone can plainly see that that's Powers, right?
No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that does not mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
I know that. I wasn't born yesterday. No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss, Witness.
He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However,
you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me, "This isn't any good evidence, pal." He didn't even give it a second look.
Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good.
Let's hear your proof, then.
Witness testimony. Demand the photo. Okay.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at the picture. You can see he's dragging his legs. Clear as day. That's how I know it was Powers. Happy? So he had a sprained ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Okay, we'll press her on every single thing then. Maybe not the first statement. Never say anything I don't mean. Sure, why not? Let's just go through each sentence.
Whippersnapper?
Hey, I haven't even said anything yet.
I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I said is on the straight and narrow, and this is up you today, always whining about each other, pointing fingers. It's not very...
Mr. Wright, please, for all our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. Okay. Excuse me. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Oh, he broke one of the props. But the murder weapon was the spear, and from the flashback, it looked like the spear was the broken one. He broke a prop?
Sure did. His own samurai spear.
His samurai spear? The murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it.
Oh dang, she fixed it. This struck me as a significant detail. I'd better write this down in the court record. The murder weapon. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. Okay.
Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad.
Badly sprained.
Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch.
Thus the nap.
Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked.
Dragging his foot, okay.
Could see you dragging his leg. See, clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
Okay.
Are you absolutely sure?
Let's take a look at the picture again. So he was walking strangely because he was injured. It does look like he was dragging his foot.
See, and you didn't trust me, whippersnapper.
That's how I knew it was Powers. Press this. Still, you can't look at this and say it's Mr. Powers. Objection. Yes, but only Mr. Powers would have been dragging his leg.
He has a point. It does seem quite likely that it was Powers.
There's got to be more to this. I'd better keep pressing her.
Telling you it was Powers. Happy to see his friend.
Okay. Trip and fall.
Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai, what a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Let's skip over that part, shall we?
There was the assistant then.
Oh, her. She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony.
Okay. I don't see anything right now. Who's present at the run-through?
Well, let's see. There was Powers, he's the Seal Samurai, and poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate, and me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing, just observing.
What about the assistant?
Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and such.
So she didn't see the run-through then. I don't know if this is right, but I kind of want to present the autopsy. How exactly are they? They aren't, are they? Frick. Okay. Nope. We're not gonna get a clean run through this one. I thought it'd be like, oh, but the prop broke. So then how was it? I think we've heard enough, haven't we, Your Honor?
Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Dang it, I should have just waited.
Which is?
Where is this Steel Samurai costume now?
Actually, well, we couldn't find it. Well, looking though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes? And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers.
I suppose that's right.
Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor?
Check.
Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers.
The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also.
Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice.
Dang it, I should have just waited. Oh.
The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. Excuse me. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. Cross-examination. What is there? Cross-examination. I just want to press this. How do you know that?
Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective. And then after some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything.
I see, Detective Gumshoes shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts.
The only person I saw go to the studio before there was Will Powers.
Are you absolutely sure?
Oh, quite sorry. Nobody's suspicious looking passed by at all.
Nobody's suspicious looking. Right. No one else went there. What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before 1 o'clock? Why, everyone was in the employees area before then.
Oh, dang. Do you think it's the assistant? What's her name again? Penelope? Do you think it's the assistant? The assistant doesn't look very happy here.
And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them.
Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
Edgy boy.
Old Windbag sure has balls, or well, you know what I mean.
Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all. Or for that matter, entirely forgetting them.
How inconvenient.
I mean, how convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps.
Yo. Phoenix.
Oh, the card key. Yes, we just gotta go back to this statement. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. I'll present the picture. It says photo number 2. That means there must have been a photo number 1. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct?
Yes, sirree, Sonny.
So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture.
And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground.
Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Ooh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening.
That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are the printed words October 15, 2 p.m., photo number 2.
Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th, really, Sonny?
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end that says photo number 2.
Photo number 2?
The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo?
Order, order, order in the court. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright.
Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence showed that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for 1 of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself.
You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers.
But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by.
Well, yes, that's what it would seem to me. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help!
Huh? Believe me if I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
Some help you are, you whippersnapper too.
Whippersnapper. Something the matter, Miss Old Bag?
Ah, that's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai.
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. Order. I see. Your testimony, please.
The other person.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw away any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Okay, the other person. I'm gonna press these statements. Another job.
That's right, I check all of the people that passed by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of those photos that the security camera takes.
Do you back up all of the data? Oh wait, do you back up all of the security camera data?
Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating.
Got it. Let's see this one. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking?
Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces for the most part.
For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag.
Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I?
I think she's missing the point.
Come to think of it now, I remember throwing out that one photo that day.
What is that one photo? Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased?
A fanboy.
A fanboy?
Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows who where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area.
Oh, we didn't see this. Did we? Could we have moved the camera to the left side? The whole time. Frick. Maybe that was the thing we could have done. We only saw the right half.
It leads outside, and that's where they come in.
They come in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers.
Kids? So in the photo that you erased,
it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
What?
Order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh, yes, well, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him.
A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear.
Impossible, I think it's quite heavy. Right. As I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him?
This court will take a 5-minute recess.
I think I'll take a minute recess as well. I'm gonna quickly head to the washroom. I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18, 11:08 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio, I was sleeping, honest. So, who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick! What are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right! And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence. But there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed the crime. The assistant. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If it accuses someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great, as if the stakes weren't high enough. So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder?
The assistant girl. That's the only other answer. It can't be the grade school boy. It was the assistant. The Steel Samurai costume was in his dressing room. She stole it, and in doing so, she became the Steel Samurai. So, you're saying the Steel Samurai in this picture is really the assistant? That's correct, Your Honor. If you're serious, you've got guts, Mr. Wright. Remember that photo? Wasn't the Steel Samurai a little lame? He was dragging his foot. Oh, bad feeling time. Remember the testimony concerning Powers' injury? Powers and poor Hammer were at the run-through. Oh, and me. What about the assistant? Oh, her. She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. The assistant knew nothing of Mr. Powers' injury. She could have looked the Steel Samurai look with that costume. But she couldn't walk the Steel Samurai walk. She wouldn't have limped. That kind of takes the legs out of under the case. That kind of takes the legs out from under that case. Mr. Wright, I'm afraid I have to penalize you as I warned. Nobody knows trouble I've seen. Wait, we move on, Mr. Wright. This fight isn't over yet. If you weren't here on her, one more chance, please. Very well, go ahead. So was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? If it's not the assistant girl, it's the security lady. We're not counting her as a suspect at all, even though she was there the whole time. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his legs in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through? There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper? Order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oh, Oldbag, that's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai's costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right there. Sherlock Holmes too, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it, is that it? Etchy boy, don't just sit there, do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take the whole way. Press further, we're not giving Granny a break. No. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions that day too. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacked a clear motive too. Indeed.
That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy! The one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper?
I have proof.
Proof? Indeed. Let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder?
It's a proof card key. In order to get to the studios, you need a card key, so... The scene of the murder was, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key?
I see. Well, could the witness care to comment on this?
The Windbag, speechless. This has got to be the first.
Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy... what's her name again?
Something Old Bag, Your Honor.
Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned.
All right.
Wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me? I'm talking.
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The Windbag wants to talk.
Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
Not to talk about? But by whom? Ah, you mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk?
Well, testify!
Oh gosh, my lips were sealed.
Global Studios wanted to keep quiet about something. There were some other people in the studio on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to accuse me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you be listening? They told me to shut my trap in. I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Old Bag.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Okay.
Global Studios want to keep quiet about something.
Okay. I want to press that. So you were told not to talk.
That's right, by the studios and the TV bigwigs, no less.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. There were some other people at the studios on the day, remember that? I want to see who though. I want to hear who those are. Who were those people? Well, the director and the producer for starters.
The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director?
Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So, where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2?
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left.
Path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Oh yeah, there's a tree there.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination?
I think I've already asked my questions, but continue cross-examining. Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder.
I know that, silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side.
So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. No, I'm gonna continue cross-examining this. Because there's no harm. At least I think there's no harm. So they were actually in the studios.
Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came.
I'll kill this woman. I swear it. I feel sorry for Edgeworth almost. She really left him hanging on this one.
But if you're going to accuse me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Then, who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer for starters.
The director. Okay. Okay, well, we'll run through this.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination?
I don't think there's anything else. Your Honor, we have learned there were others like global studios in that day in question. The director and the producer and there are some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers.
The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of.
I understand, Your Honor.
This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned.
October 18, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright.
I was right to ask you to defend me.
Oh, really, it's nothing. Oh, where should I?
Well, we'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have you figured out who it was in the steel samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old Windbag. I kinda feel sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there with or without any of my accusations. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right, we'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Alright, to be continued. Alright, we're gonna end this here for today. Thank you everybody who stumbled in and checked out and checked into the stream and joined me for another interesting episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, Episode 3, Turnabout Samurai. We'll end it right here for today, but the adventure and cases and sleuthing will continue on another day. Once again, greatly appreciated the views here at on Twitch and as well as on YouTube. If you happen to want to see the rest of the video, it's all there. Yeah. Once again, remember to always wash your hands, stay at home, but also get some fresh air if you need to, or hike or have a run, but make sure that you're social distancing, and also wear masks in overcrowded areas if you must have to go to overcrowded areas or places where there's going to be a lot of people. Let's all help out in not spreading this virus even further, and yeah, keep on fighting the good fight for this all of this civil unrest. And thanks for watching once again. Hope you all have great days, and I'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye. Thank you.